Well, folks, here she is. This is my Theraphosa stirmi, the burgundy Goliath bird eater that recently molted and should be hardened up now sufficiently to mail to my friend. So tomorrow morning I'm going to pack her up in her box and take her to the post office, or FedEx in this case. But yeah, so before her journey, I'm going to offer her a couple of worms and see if maybe she might want to eat now that she's in good shape. So just, a little bit of a snack. And she readily took that. Let's get her. We don't want to overfill her for her journey. Just kind of enough there. Just a couple worms ought to do it. But yep. She looks great, doesn't she? She is a beauty. Sweet. So she'll definitely be going to a really good home. So, awesome. So say goodbye. But never fear, we still have Large Marge and my smaller Theraphosa stirmi. Alright, see you in the morning, girly. Alright guys, it's the next morning. She's finished her meal and now is ready to go. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is provide a box. Well, I'm going to use the box that was shipped to me, and I'm going to just return the tarantula back in the same box because it's an excellent box. It's insulated there by the styrofoam, which also creates excellent padding there and to keep the tarantula from sloshing about in there. So that's great. So that's what the box looks like size-wise. And what I'm going to do is, since it's only going to be in the 70s for the high and 50s for the low, instead of putting the seat pack on the bottom, I'm going to actually just tape it to the sides of the enclosure. But I'm going to wrap it up in this bag right here. I'll put that inside. Well, after I open this outer part, I'm going to put the heat warmer in there and just tape it to the side right here. One of the sides. I haven't decided which one yet. So we'll go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, so since it's not going to be very cold where I'm sending this package, I just taped that inside the warmer. I put the warmer inside the paper bag and taped it onto the side of the enclosure. And then I'm just putting the additional newspaper there so the tarantula doesn't get too hot. It'll have a little bit of warmth, but not too much. Okay, let's get on with getting the container ready. Alright, next thing I did, put it in this container here. Container already has a lot of mini holes in it. I didn't want too many big holes. Didn't want the moisture to escape too quickly. But it's only going to be an overnight shipping, so I don't worry about that too much. But I did liberally soaked the paper towels in here. I put one at the very bottom, and then I put several of them and just lined up the edges here of this container to make sure that the tarantula will have plenty of humidity from the moisture of the paper towel to drink, and also to keep it snug in there so it's not banging up against the container or anything. And then I'm going to add this damp square here on top once I put the tea in there. Alright, let's go ahead and get the tea out. The part you guys have been waiting for. Alright, just kind of tapping it a little bit. Make sure it knows I'm going to mess with it. I'm going to kind of get some of this substrate out of the way. I'll keep in mind when you're dealing with the Theraphosa stirmi, they have you don't have to, you don't worry about just the hairs that they can kick off their abdomen at you in defense. They also have it all through the enclosure here, so don't be surprised that even if your T. stirmi doesn't kick hairs at you, you're probably still going to itch and cough and all that jazz just by stirring all this stuff up, because they hair all over the place. So what I'm going to do here, kind of scoop all that out of the way. And there are several things I'm going to try if something doesn't work. I'm going to try this method first by putting the container there, and I'm going to try to encourage it to come on out. Okay. Come on. I know. Yeah, there. That's good. Now. Come on. In you go. Okay, well that worked out a lot better than I thought it would. Make sure all the... Alright, the T. stirmi got in there with not much problem at all. I don't think it kicked hairs, although you see the hairs right there had been kicked, but I think it had just rubbed its body in the hairs it had kicked on the substrate when it had flipped over after its molt or something, because I didn't see it kick. But I think that will be good. So I'm just going to stuff, in fact I may give it just a little bit of extra paper towel to put on top, but there you go. Alright, I'll show you the next step just a moment. Alright, so I just put like a square, a big square paper towel, folded it up, and just neatly placed it on top, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one just to add a little extra padding. It'll be nice and snug as a bug in a rug. There we go. And there may be too many holes here in this lid, so I'm going to actually add some tape to cover up those holes. Just some packing tape here, that's what I got. I don't want too much air to escape. Because they need that humidity. If it was a tarantula that didn't require as much humidity, I wouldn't be as concerned about too much air escaping. I mean, I don't want too much to escape anyway because they still need to drink. But since this tarantula requires more humidity than some of your others, I have to be a little more strict about where I allow air to escape. So, just covered up some of the air holes, and whoops. And next up, I'm just going to wrap tape around the lid there just so the lid doesn't pop off. Alright, I'll show you the next step in a moment. Alright, so now I have the container taped up on the top, so I'm going to lay it on its side down here. As you can see, it needs more of the shredded paper, newspaper. So I'm going to stuff that in there right now. And on the sides there, so that way it's not rolling around. But even if you handle with care, sometimes they don't handle it with care. So you, as the responsible one, have to make sure you allow for those type of mistakes by taking extra precaution. So I'm just making sure I'm packing it thoroughly on all sides, so that way it's not sloshed around. And I'm going to even add more on top. And add to it. I'm going to reuse their styrofoam square like that, and then tape it up and mail it. Alright, there you have it. That went about as uneventful as I can hope for. It was probably boring for you guys because the tea stirmi didn't put up a fight, but better on my end anyway. Alright, next video I will feature will be a care video, most likely, of a different genus. And then after that, might do some kind of handling vid for Trebec. Alright, thanks guys for watching.